So remember I said I had overheating issues, and this is the one scoop that came with my bus. The other one was ripped off by a tree branch or something. So I'm going to try and make another one using this as a mold. So the first thing I need to do is create the negative of this. And I don't have to worry about making this backside look pretty. As you can see, it doesn't already. That was the way it was from whoever made it. I just worry about this side. So my plan is I'm going to spray this with a release agent, also known as cooking spray. Cover it with some fiberglass mat, put some resin on it, put more mat, and let it set up, and it should just crack right off. And that will make my negative. Alright, so here's a coat of resin and fiberglass on this. I only used one sheet of mat. I think when I make my positive, I think I'll use 2. So it's already starting to firm up. Oh, that's a little wet yet, but here, so it all kind of moves as one. Tried to get most of the bubbles out. I couldn't get them all. That's already, my hand's not even getting wet from that. Kind of worked my way the top down, and it just slowly took on the shape of this. So never really done this before, so it might fail. Who knows? My original should stay fine. I covered that with the cooking spray, basically olive oil. So that should form a barrier, so the model, so that that negative should release. So I don't know. We'll probably give it an hour. All right. Well, it's been a while. I pulled this one off, and it's not horrible, but you know, it holds its shape okay, but it does not look very good on the inside. I could maybe try and use it, but it's got a big air pocket right here. Other than that, it's not bad, except I tried using some old resin I had, and it's still soft. It never hardened here. I don't know what its deal was. And it was a heck of a time getting it off. That cooking spray did not work all that well as a release agent. I'm thinking about sanding this all down and coating, and then spraying it all with a something that's got more gloss to it. And then I think some people said use carnauba wax, and I think I might try that. Okay, here we are, I don't know, a day or two later. What a mess. I've got, 2 negatives. I think this is my first negative out here. I put some mineral spirits in there. I don't know what the problem with this one was. I don't think I liked it very much. Oh no, this is my first positive. Right. And I tried using tin foil for a release. I've done that before with smaller things, and I just didn't like how it's set up. It ended up having this big gap or void here, you can see, and I couldn't get some of the tin foil off, so I didn't even really let it fully set up, and I already knew I was going to try something else. So there's that one. I'll call it an emergency spare. Here's the original. It's in a little rough shape, I guess. I tried painting it black to match where it's going to go, and before I tried making my negative, thinking the smooth black paint would help the mold release a little bit. It ended up just kind of becoming part of the negative, as you can see here. This is here's my good negative, and I actually used some Bondo filler to try and fill in some of the gaps. Now, I probably should have done some kind of vacuum sealing, which actually isn't all that difficult. You just put a vacuum around a garbage bag, and I think that would probably do it. But this is not, I'm only making one of these. If I was making even 10 or more of these, I probably would have spent more time. So here's my negative, and actually this I think came out pretty well. If I spent a little time and cleaned this up a little bit more, I think it'd be really nice. But what I did with it was, you can see there's some of this pink fluid here. I was having a hard time getting waxes or oils to really work as a release agent. So what I ended up doing, I tried this Slick 50 automatic transmission treatment. It's basically like honey, but oil. So I dribbled just a little bit on there, and then you actually used a paintbrush to spread it around, and that worked really, really well as far as a release agent. Problem was, it kind of embedded itself. Here's my second positive. So this is basically the one I'm going to paint. It's pretty solid, compared to... Now, I did use 2 pieces of fiberglass matte. This was just one. This is super flimsy. And you can see it flexing there. Where this one is much better. What I'm gonna do is put a skim coat of Bondo on it, and then sand it and paint it. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to scoop in some air. So that's my plan here. I mean, I even had to put Bondo on this because this one had damaged a little bit. All right, so this is after a couple of coats of Bondo and sanding and all that stuff, and it's not going to be perfect, as you can probably see. I don't care a whole lot. There's a whole lot on this bus that's not perfect. So I'm gonna spray this and this. I'm just gonna use my HVLP sprayer and thin down the black Rust-Oleum with some acetone, and it sprays on real good. So I'll just do that. I'll respray this one. I already did it once, but I think we talked about how that screwed up. So, let's stand back here. You can kind of, they look somewhat similar, so hopefully they look somewhat similar when we're all done. All right, they got a couple of coats of paint on them. I've got a couple of coats of paint on me. Now, which one is which? Well, if you guessed the black one, you'd be right. Come on, I'm a dad. What do you expect? This is the one that I made. Still, it's pretty pitted and whatever. Looks kind of like trash. But then again, this one doesn't look all that great either. So, well, I'm gonna let them hang here for a couple more hours and probably throw them on. The paint will need some time to cure and all that, but I just want to get them on there. All right, last little update here. This is one of them installed. I used stainless steel screws before. They used, I don't know, some other junk. I don't know, which one do you think that is, huh? And then here's the other one installed. Same kind of deal. So hopefully this will suck in enough air where pulling a vehicle or something isn't a problem again. Although, on our next little trip, I don't think we're gonna pull anything at all, but it's just good for a little insurance. Some people say they work, some people say they don't. To me, I think they have to work a little bit. The air, it's coming along the side here. There might be little swirls of turbulence, but if jet fighters have side scoops like this for air intakes, why wouldn't it work on a bus?